Jimmy Carter, 39th President of the United States, winner of the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize, died peacefully Sunday, December 29th at his home in Plains, Georgia, surrounded by family. At 100 years old, he is the longest-lived president in U.S. history. He's survived by his children, 11 grandchildren, 14 great-grandchildren. He was preceded by his wife of 77 years, Rosalind Smith Carter, who died on November 19th, 2023. And it says in the bio, Chip, one of his children, says, "My father was a hero, not only to me, but to everyone who believes in peace, human rights, and unselfish love. My brothers, sister, and I shared him with the rest of the world through these common beliefs. The world is our family because of the way he brought people together, and we thank you for honoring his memory by continuing to live these shared beliefs." Timothy, I just touched on it right before I read that portion of the obituary. His faith was so pronounced, and he lived it in a way that even if you didn't agree with his politics, you somehow were endeared to his steadfastness. He was consistent. He had that, pleasant smile everywhere he went. Speak to that and whether the American people could see a brighter side to faith, one that wasn't judgmental, but really did see the world as family.
One can say that he's, in a way, the father of the faith-based initiative, even though it was George W. Bush that incorporated it or implemented it within government. But understanding our establishment clause and that under our Constitution, government shall not establish religion, Jimmy Carter was very open about what faith had done for him and what faith could do for others. And I think that's an extraordinary positive aspect of his character and his moral constitution. And at a time when democracy, many are saying, are at risk, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Jimmy Carter worked the globe as a past president in ensuring fair elections and certifying elections around the globe. And I do believe his moral compass and his willingness to acknowledge faith and to allow his immersion into his faith as part of his policy perspectives helped put him as a trusted figure on the global scale to be able to resolve so many political and even military conflicts around the world. I think on a bipartisan level, America and the world will say, we lost a great man today that left a great legacy. And I honor and cherish his name and extend my prayers and condolences to the Carter family.
Yeah, and to the family and to everyone in Plains, Georgia, because unlike a lot of people, presidents or not, he stayed in Plains, Georgia for the entirety of his life, David. I mean, he just had this love for home and such a pride for his roots, perhaps most eloquently expressed through his devotion to the farming community. And every time I think about peanuts, I think about George Washington Carver and I think about Jimmy Carter. But speak to that, the fact that he was so still a hometown guy and yet a world-famous presidential leader.
Well, he had that humility, which was such a wonderful thing to see. One of the things about some of his successors, including his successor to be, is that lack of humility, that lack of perspective somehow that Jimmy Carter had. And when the other guest, Tim, talks about his faith, he managed to wear his faith in a way that, ennobled his acts, that made him bigger and that made him more of a leader.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.